and the ever-evolving landscape of public health, few topics have stirred as much controversy and debate as the relationship between vaccines and autism. Over the past few decades, this issue has moved from a niche concern to a global conversation, drawing in scientists, medical professionals, policymakers, and families alike. The rise of social media and digital platforms has further amplified the voices on both sides of the discussion, making it increasingly complex for the general public to discern fact from fiction. At the heart of this debate is a question that many parents ask themselves: could something as routine as childhood vaccination be responsible for a condition like autism? This question has sparked fear, confusion, and even division within communities. While the majority of scientific research overwhelmingly refutes any causal link between vaccines and autism, the topic continues to resurface in public discourse, often fueled by anecdotal stories, misinformation, and selective interpretations of data. To understand the depth of this issue, it's essential to explore not only the science behind vaccines and autism but also the cultural, psychological, and political forces that shape how people perceive and respond to them. From the early days of the anti-vaccine movement to the modern-day resurgence of vaccine hesitancy, the story of vaccines and autism is one of science, emotion, and the human need for control over our children's health. The roots of the vaccine autism controversy trace back to 1998, when a study published in the prestigious British medical journal The Lancet suggested a possible link between the measles, mumps, and rubella (MMR) vaccine and the onset of autism. The study, authored by a group of researchers including a gastroenterologist who had financial ties to lawyers involved in lawsuits against vaccine manufacturers, quickly gained attention in the media and among concerned parents. Although the study was later retracted due to serious methodological flaws, ethical violations, and conflicts of interest, its impact was already felt worldwide. This single paper set off a chain reaction. Parents began questioning the safety of vaccines, pediatricians found themselves fielding an increasing number of concerns, and public trust in immunization programs began to erode. In some countries, vaccination rates dropped significantly, leading to outbreaks of preventable diseases such as measles. The once unquestioned role of vaccines in public health became a matter of intense scrutiny and debate. Over the years, numerous studies have been conducted to investigate the alleged connection between vaccines and autism. These studies have ranged from large-scale population analyses to detailed genetic and neurological investigations. Despite the vast body of evidence, spanning millions of individuals across different countries, no credible scientific research has found a causal relationship between vaccines and autism. Organizations such as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, the World Health Organization, WHO, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, have all affirmed that vaccines are safe and do not cause autism. Yet, the myth persists. It is perpetuated through online forums, social media posts, and alternative health movements that emphasize personal choice, natural living, and skepticism toward mainstream medicine. For many, the idea that a simple shot could lead to a lifelong neurodevelopmental disorder is deeply unsettling. It raises questions about the safety of the healthcare system, the influence of pharmaceutical companies, and the ethics of mandatory vaccination policies. One of the most compelling aspects of the vaccine autism debate is the way it reflects broader societal tensions. On one side are those who prioritize public health, scientific consensus, and collective well-being. They argue that vaccines are one of the greatest achievements in modern medicine, responsible for saving countless lives and preventing the spread of infectious diseases. On the other side are those who place a higher value on individual autonomy, parental rights, and distrust of institutional authority. They believe that decisions about a child's health should rest with the family, not with government agencies or medical experts. These differing worldviews are not easily reconciled. Each side views the other with suspicion and frustration. Public health advocates see vaccine hesitancy as a threat to herd immunity and community health, while skeptics view mandates and propaganda as an infringement on personal freedom. The result is a polarized discourse where facts are often drowned out by emotion, ideology, and misinformation. A key factor in the persistence of the vaccine autism myth is the power of storytelling. Human beings are wired to remember and share personal narratives more than abstract statistics. When a parent describes their child regressing into autism shortly after receiving a vaccine, it can be more emotionally resonant than a report stating that no such link exists. These stories are powerful because they tap into deep-seated fears about parenthood, vulnerability, and the unknown. They offer a sense of meaning and explanation in a situation that may otherwise feel random and uncontrollable. Another important element is the role of the internet and social media. Platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok have given anti-vaccine voices a megaphone, allowing them to reach millions of people with messages that often bypass traditional gatekeepers like doctors and scientists. Algorithms designed to maximize engagement tend to promote content that evokes strong emotions, fear, anger, and outrage, which means that sensationalized claims about vaccines and autism often receive more visibility than balanced, evidence-based information. This dynamic creates what some experts call an infodemic, a flood of information, both true and false, that makes it difficult for people to make informed decisions. In the case of vaccines and autism, the infodemic has led to a situation where myths and misconceptions can spread faster than facts. Even when new studies confirm the safety of vaccines, the damage has already been done. Trust, once lost, is hard to regain. At the same time, there is growing recognition of the importance of listening to the concerns of vaccine-hesitant parents. Many of these individuals are not anti-science, rather, they feel unheard, dismissed, or mistrustful of the medical establishment. Their fears are rooted in real experiences, such as navigating the complexities of raising a child with special needs, dealing with the emotional toll of an autism diagnosis, or struggling to find answers in a fragmented healthcare system. Addressing these concerns requires empathy, communication, and a willingness to engage in dialogue rather than confrontation. It is also worth noting that the conversation around vaccines and autism is part of a larger shift in how society approaches health and wellness. There is a growing movement toward integrative and holistic medicine, which emphasizes the interconnectedness of mind, body, and environment. Some proponents of this approach suggest that conditions like autism may be influenced by a combination of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors, including diet, toxins, and immune function. While this perspective is not universally accepted by the medical community, it reflects a desire for more comprehensive and personalized approaches to health. One area that has received increased attention in recent years is the role of environmental toxins in neurodevelopmental disorders. Researchers have explored the potential impact of heavy metals like mercury and aluminum on brain development, particularly in genetically vulnerable individuals. Aluminum, in particular, has been identified as a known neurotoxin, and its presence in certain vaccines has raised questions about long-term effects. However, it is important to note that the amount of aluminum in vaccines is carefully regulated and considered safe by regulatory agencies. Studies have shown that the levels used in vaccines are far below what would be expected to cause harm. Despite the lack of evidence linking vaccines to autism, the debate continues to evolve. New studies, new theories, and new voices enter the conversation regularly. Some researchers are exploring the possibility that certain combinations of vaccines, administered at specific intervals, might interact with the developing immune system in ways that are not yet fully understood. Others are investigating the role of gut health, inflammation, and the microbiome in autism spectrum disorders. While these lines of inquiry are still in early stages, they highlight the complexity of the issue and the need for continued research. What remains clear is that the vaccine autism debate is not just about science. It is also about values, beliefs, and the way we choose to navigate uncertainty. For some, vaccines represent a symbol of progress and protection. For others, they are a source of anxiety and doubt. Bridging this divide requires more than just presenting facts. It requires understanding the emotional and psychological dimensions of the issue. In the end, the goal should be to create a society where people can make informed decisions about their health based on accurate information, respectful dialogue, and mutual understanding. This means investing in science education, improving access to reliable health information, and fostering open conversations between parents, healthcare providers, and policymakers. It also means acknowledging the legitimate concerns of those who are hesitant, while firmly standing by the overwhelming evidence that vaccines are safe and effective. As the world continues to grapple with public health challenges, from pandemics to chronic diseases, the lessons learned from the vaccine autism debate will be crucial. They remind us that science is not just about facts and figures, but also about how those facts are communicated, interpreted, and applied in real-world contexts. They challenge us to think critically about the sources of our information, the biases that shape our perceptions, and the responsibility we all share in promoting truth and transparency. Ultimately, the story of vaccines and autism is a reflection of our times, a time when knowledge is abundant, but wisdom is scarce. It is a reminder that in the pursuit of health and well-being, we must balance caution with courage, skepticism with trust, and individual choice with collective responsibility. Only then can we build a future where science serves not only to protect our bodies, but also to strengthen the bonds of trust and understanding that hold our communities together. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to see it. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. There's a whole world of content waiting for you, all aimed at helping you think critically about health, science, and the information we consume every day. We're always working hard to bring you well-researched, in-depth discussions on topics that matter. Your support helps us keep doing that. So whether you agree or disagree with what you've seen today, let's keep the conversation going. Remember, staying curious and asking questions is key. Don't stop learning, and don't be afraid to challenge assumptions, even your own. That's how we grow, both as individuals and as a society. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.